Mike and Devon Walter with MOpyro presenting the national anthem at the 2024 Sky Wars. So you are a father-son team. Give me a little spiel about your history in fireworks.
The first money I ever earned I spent on fireworks, so my passion goes back pretty far. I don't know, I earned like $20 doing some yard work, and I went straight to the fireworks tent and spent every last penny that I could at 4th of July growing up. I didn't have any family members, or I was really the only one that was into it, so it was kind of my own thing. And then I joined the military, became a combat engineer. A lot of the job entails using explosives, so it kind of fit right in. That was what got me excited to go in there. And then when we had kids and got out, we kind of carried on the tradition of doing a little something for the 4th of July. So the last 15 years, we've always had an Independence Day celebration with fireworks. So
yeah, and I can always remember when I was really young, we would go to the fireworks superstore in Hannibal, Missouri, and I would always look forward going and getting a cart and just going down all the aisles of the big warehouse and just loading up on all the fireworks that sparked our interest.
What got you into pro fireworks and kind of coming up with pyro musicals? Is it this 4th of July show? Hey, I want to get a bigger and better show every year?
Yeah, I mean, every year's got to top the last year. In 2016, we saw our first Sky Wars. It was at Brookdale Farms, and we were just blown away. We couldn't even believe what you could do with fireworks. We thought that we liked fireworks, but then we realized that we really like fireworks. That year, we had bought our first firing system from Cobra. We just had a couple mods, and so we had already kind of gotten into electronic firing, but definitely no pyro musical scripting. It was just more, having better control over the cakes versus gluing the cakes to a board and visco fusing everything together.
Yeah, we went from just hand firing everything on at the end of our block, having a block party, to gluing cakes on boards and then stapling fuse on the boards and timing it out to where when one cake would finish, the next one would start, and then finally upgrading to the electronic firing system, just making the shows like that, and then getting into the actual music aspect of it.
Yeah, so 2017 we joined MOpyro, so the following year we joined MOpyro, and the rest is history. It's
an addicting hobby for sure, right?
Yeah.
Since then, what kind of shows have you guys worked on together, separately, in addition to your annual 4th of July show?
The last 4 years we participated in the MOpyro K-Cap show down there in Columbia with Spirit of 76, have come in with a solid second prize every time. I was lead shooter, I think, in 22, and Devon was lead shooter this year. And of course, we've helped out some other friends and stuff along the way.
Man, I thought I recognized you guys.
I mean, we've helped several club shoots, Bowling Green, Moscow Mills. We've helped the national anthem several times and a few other shows at Sky Wars.
This is the first year that we both did 2 shows for J&M Displays. We're expanding outside of just doing fireworks within MOpyro, and we worked for a display company this year, so that was a pretty cool experience.
When did you guys become licensed pyros?
2018. I took the class at Sky Wars so that we could buy the pro line. Last year, both of us went ahead and got our 54. I've got my Missouri shooter's license, and I'm currently working on my Illinois shooter's license.
How would you guys describe your choreography style, or maybe even soundtrack style, when you're coming up with pyro musicals?
I don't know, how would you describe it, Devon?
Intentional and sometimes intentionally chaotic.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
is that kind of like a combined style?
So Devon and I both have our strong suits in everything that we do, and we found that if we lean on each other's strong suits, that we make a better team. Devon is very much into the very fine-tuning details, which I like a fine-tuned detail, but sometimes don't have the patience to do it when I'm going through, so I'll go through and kind of put together a framework of what I have in my head.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle with starting. It usually helps having the framework in place and then adding on top of that.
For sure. It sounds like you guys fill in each other's gaps a little bit too. You make a good team. It's convenient that you guys are family and know each other pretty well to be able to lean on each other.
And Devon's very good at putting together soundtracks and coming up with music. I would say music selection is 75% his input, 25% mine. When it comes to new stuff, like this year, our personal show, we did 90s themed, and that was pretty much so 100% my input. if it's anything new, or I mean, he has a very creative mind. He'll come to me with a song and I won't see it, and I'm like, and then he'll throw it into Finale 3D, and I'm like, okay, I can work with this. We'll come out at the end together, and we'll both be very satisfied.
That's actually pretty much what happened with the Spirit of 76 show here in Columbia. I chose the songs and presented it to him, and he was like, I can't see fireworks to this. And then I just kind of showed him where my mind was with that, and I think it turned out pretty decent. Yeah, sometimes when we drive in the car together too, we just start playing songs.
Yeah, and the rest of our family gets kind of tired of listening to the songs over and over again, and the year-round discussion about fireworks with him and I.
This fireworks season is probably the most involved that we've been. We love it though. You have to love it to put in all the work and keep wanting to do it.
I think we're transitioning into kind of gearing up to tease for your National Anthem show this year. I'd like to know what you guys are planning, because Sky Wars National Anthems are now becoming pretty notorious. I mean, they kick off this huge event, right, that has 10 plus pyro musical displays in addition to fireballs, in addition to drones. So let's get a little bit of a teaser of what you guys are planning.
Well, I mean, I would say red, white, blue, and big. That would be my teaser.
No green or yellow. Okay,
there might be a little bit in there, but yeah, it's a lot of red, white, and blue. That's for sure.
I was actually noticing before I jumped on the call with you guys, I was kind of looking at the previous years and how, at least in the Sky Wars history, starting in 2020 and through 2022, they were kind of more traditional national anthems. And then in 2023, last year, we had a pretty big show. It was really heavy before and after the music, and it had some 1,400 cues, which is massive for an anthem. And of course, cue count is not indicative of whether a show is going to be good or not, but I was curious what your guys' approach was.
I think that we're definitely more along a traditional type of pyro musical where we like to stay as much as possible in the parameters of the music. Last year's was pretty unique, where started out with almost a pre-finale, and then the show, and then went into a finale. Jim Walter definitely put a great signature on there and set a high standard to follow the year after. That's for sure.
And no relation either. Jim Walter is not related to you guys.
No relation. No, I think he's from Georgia. Raccoon Fireworks has sponsored I believe 3 years. So last year was the first year Raccoon sponsored it. So that has a big impact on, product available and budget, because then it doesn't come out of the Sky Wars budget. Actually, Raccoon provides all that at no cost. I'm not sure what Jim's experience was last year, but my experience this year was they gave me the master list and told me to come up with what I would definitely need for 1.3, what I definitely need for 1.4, and then a wish list. It's a little bit overwhelming looking through all of their stuff, and we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to shoot 44 cases of 1.3 and 34 cases of 1.4. So that that's a little bit of a challenge in itself. So it doesn't look just like Sky Puke from start to finish.
Right. But that Raccoon product is really amazing stuff too.
Yeah.
Was there anything in their effect list that you guys are really looking forward to seeing in the sky?
All of it. So being somewhat new, I wish I was one of those really creative people that could look at the list and was like, oh my gosh, I want this, or because they had said that they could even make some custom stuff. We're excited for all the 1.3. I mean, it's 1,511 cues and 2 minutes 45 seconds start to finish. So
wow, it's a little bit more than last year. How many folks are on your crew? Are you bringing a lot of MOpyro folks out? Tell me a little bit about your crew.
Our crew, we call ourselves Solid Second. That comes from the Spirit of 76 shoot every year. So we've kind of coined the term, and there's about 10 of us, Devon?
Yeah, about 10.
That we all shoot together regularly, kind of gravitate together. We get along well, harass each other. I've had a lot of people reach out through the forum that I've never met before. A lot of people from out of state say, hey, we're getting in on Thursday. Do you need any help? Things like that. And so if somebody comes and wants to help, we're definitely going to be welcoming. And that's exactly how Devon and I got into the club. And being involved and being shown, what to do, how to do things. I mean, that's been one of the best experiences for us with the club is going from, shooting a small backyard show to being a lead shooter at a municipal show this year, or being given the honor to shoot the national anthem at Sky Wars.
Yeah, isn't that the beauty of local pyro clubs like
Yeah.
MOpyro? And
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
that rare hands-on opportunity when you come to Sky Wars as an honorary MOpyro member anyway. Everyone wants to help out in the national anthem. It's one of those that is just like a no-brainer. And kudos to you guys for going with red, white, and blue. It'd be a little bit awkward if we had, pink, purple, green out there, but it'd be a creative choice for sure. But I think red, white, and blue is gonna knock it out of the park.
For the 4th of July, we always do the national anthem at the beginning, so it seems fitting.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, and I also wanted to ask, when it comes to soundtrack, you're very limited, right, with the national anthem. It is the national anthem. It's going to have the same lyrics. But I noticed in our Sky Wars history the past 4 years, last year was more orchestral with more of a choir sound, and then the previous 3 had been a solo singer on the track. So I'm curious if you guys wanted to tease anything about your national anthem track.
It'll be a solo singer.
A solo singer recorded this year,
Yeah,
Oh,
very
So-
relevant.
okay, so it's new.
so it's fresh.
I like the solo singer. I feel like it really carries, and it's very powerful.
Yeah, we agree.
And it's not the lady who did the All-Star game.
It's not.
I'm not gonna lie, it's tough to come up with. There's not a whole lot of options for the national anthem that you can just buy off of iTunes. It's hard. We scoured long and hard, and then this one kind of fell in our lap. So
Well, because the challenge also is if, there is a good one, chances are it's already been used, and we don't want to use one that's been used, in previous years before.
we held our breath through all the big events. PGI. I mean, they had several national anthems, and none of them used the same track. So I was like, sweet.
Score. You got a good
Yep.
one. Anything else that you guys want to tease about the national anthem this year?
No fireballs.
Okay, keep it classic, keep it simple.
We
keep it
didn't.
clean.
When we got done, we planned on putting fireballs in it, and we got done with it. We said it doesn't need fireballs.
I still wanted the fireballs, but, it's still good without the fireballs.
Well, awesome. We are really looking forward to seeing it. How's it feel for you guys to be representing MOpyro? The club that started this whole thing, this whole big event 19 years ago. How's it feel for you guys to be representing MOpyro on the Sky Wars stage in this year's national anthem?
It feels great for me. I'm really glad that we can put on a show for the national anthem for this amazing country and, have so many proud Americans to see it. It's pretty crazy how far this event has come in the last 2 decades, and I really hope to see it keep growing from here on out.
And I agree. I mean, it's an honor, one, that they've trusted Devon and I to actually put together a show for a paying audience, let alone it being the national anthem. A lot of the guys in our solid second shoot team are veterans. So I think that's kind of what's drawing us together a little bit, and it's an honor for sure.
And,
Yeah, you
doing all
guys-
this is really exciting for me. I'm 21. It's pretty cool being able to do all this and get all this experience at, such a young age. So I'm loving doing this. It's just very rewarding putting in all that work and then seeing the show be shot in person. It's a good feeling. Even though you put on weeks or months of work just for it to be shot in 10 or 20 minutes, it seems a little daunting, but it is very rewarding.
Is there anything else that you guys would want to mention about Sky Wars or yourselves or being a part of MOpyro?
I would close with saying being part of MOpyro together with Devon and I, it's gotten us to where we're at, being part of a pyro club. I mean, if you would have asked us 10 years ago that you'd be shooting a fireworks show in front of a paying crowd of 10,000 people, and we'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. But the guys in the club, everybody brings something different to the table, and we learn off each other, and everybody's always happy to share knowledge. Maybe not all their pyro secrets, but with knowledge. And then the other thing is that we've got a great safety director in the club, Jim Rozicki, and then Ron Green helps him out at Sky Wars and the club shoots, and really just bringing safety to the industry, I think is paramount for the industry to survive regulation over the next however many years. I think pyro clubs are going to play an important part in that. So we're not overregulated or get shut down. Or I think pyro clubs are going to really help with that. So, our backyard show is safer than it ever could have been, and we wouldn't be at this point without joining the pyro club.
That's a really great point. Huge shout out to our safety teams and to really all pyro clubs. They're totally the backbone of keeping this hobby alive and keeping it safe. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and telling us about you and the National Anthem, and I will see you on site.